Good afternoon. Welcome back. This is part two to what is calling for your attention. Yesterday we did, it was a pretty lengthy reading. You guys already know by now that I am long winded. I have a breath about me, but today I am cognizant of the time. I am going to try to condense that time. I am aware of that, and so I'm working on that. Thank you for sticking in there. For those of you that come back to connect and to tune in, thank you so much for returning. If you're new to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. If you're liking the content, please do like, share. If you feel led and are open enough to share, definitely comment. I would love to engage with you all in that way. Thank you again for allowing me to speak into your life. I don't take it lightly. And so today we're talking about what is calling your attention. This is part two of this reading. Yesterday we did part one. And today is this particular foliage. This leaf is what is accompanying today's reading. So let's move that up there. And our beginning oracle card is opening to discovery. So if you chose reading number 2, this reading is most definitely for you. And so with opening to discovery, I definitely feel the energy of this explorative energy or this receptive energy. What's calling to your attention is the small bits of data or information that's coming towards you. And it could be in the form of ideas. It could be like information that's being translated to you by way of the universe, right? It could be speaking directly to you about this, giving you energy, giving you ideas, giving you vital information. And with this information, this is information that would be integrated. And then also what's being called to your attention is the need to be discerning in that way about what you receive, about the information that you're receiving. Vet it. Or just in general, what you're exposing yourself to. So many times we're kind of like receptors, like we tune into all kinds of information from our outer environment, and then we kind of unconsciously take it in and assign meaning to it within our psyches. But in general, and I personally have experienced this, an overload of information that can happen so easily, especially with technology, with social media. Just 5, 10, nevertheless an hour of stimulation through like TikTok can definitely be overwhelming, overstimulating, to the point where we have pulled in too much information to be processed. Yeah. And so you are being called to attend to what you're tuning into. Be mindful of what you are exposing yourself to, because there's the possibility of exposing yourself to unhealthy messaging, which would then turn into sometimes a cynical, fear-based worldview, right? Just watching the news every day can alter the way you're perceiving and viewing the world. Yeah. And then on the flip side of that, a conscious exposure to information that's supporting our well-being actually shifts us towards this expansion and growth. And so it's just really being selective. You're being called to pay attention to what you're plugging into consciously and be discerning about that on a daily basis, even with people that we expose ourselves to. We're always being engaged by the universe because we're a part of it. And it's through synchronicities and omens and all kinds of signs that point us towards our highest selves, our highest path, our highest timeline. And our intuition actually helps us to tune in and see our environment like oracles, like an oracle. It doesn't have to make sense right away. The information we're being drawn to. And so there is a need also to be a little curious and open, non-resistant, right? This is a time of learning, being open to discovery. And this energy, you are being called to attend to it. This energy of exploration and discernment on what is being called into your consciousness or what you're connecting to. In addition to that, you are being called to, I try not to be a perfectionist. I like things to be, like symmetrical. It bothers me when it's not. So forgive me for being picky. Okay. I don't know why that looks slanted to me. But let's just leave it there. I'm not going to fuss about it. And so with our Hafiz Oracle deck, we have Relax. And we also have Embrace Your Magnificence. And I'm drawn to the moon here, right? I guess I'll give you a closer view. I'm drawn to the moon. Definitely, I'm sensing just this really relaxed energy of knowing, this could be drawing you in to take care of yourself. As you see in this picture, this is a moment of stopping to just be, right? To take care of yourself, to check in with what's going on. This doesn't have to be like, the modern day self-care with spa treatments and, traveling. This is just going and sitting in front of the moon. The moon reminds us to relax and just tune into your sense of knowing, right? The moon comes out every night and she doesn't really care what is being said about her. She doesn't mind a bit, right? And you're being guided into this energy to just sit and take care of yourself. And it's the self-care that's provided naturally, provided by Mother Nature, right? The same element that's been available for millennia, the moon, the stars, the trees, the wind, right? You're being pulled into the energy to just relax, to unwind, and to really seek nature's embrace, to reclaim your inner wild self, that rough, going out and survive in the nature type of energy, and be at ease with all that is as well. So just relax. Whatever that means to you, this is being called to your attention. It's time. It's time for some elemental self-care. And through this, I feel like this opening of discovery will be widened. It's through those silent moments that we're actually able to tune in even closer and listen to what's being said. Listen to what is being translated to us spiritually. It's in these moments, and it's time. It's time. With Embrace Your Magnificence, of course, we see the peacock here, one of the most beautiful, unique birds on the earth. It's actually a very benevolent bird. And so I feel like this is calling you to open up the energy of benevolence towards yourself, though, and towards others. It's almost like the energy of a young child, like maybe 3 or 4 years old, that hasn't learned the energy of self-consciousness about their power. Like they know nothing about that, about being insecure. All they know is that they're here right now, they're enjoying it, right? All of their needs are being met, they are being loved. You know, they play and they strut boastfully, announcing their abilities and their discoveries out loud to the world, you know, with the energy of a little twirl or a little jump. You know, it's very spontaneous, it's very innocent and pure. And this is a joy of being. It's a joy of just being and taking up the fullness of your space and strutting the genius that you are. It's like an unself consciousness. And like that young child would, this is what you're being called to. Towards yourself and towards others as well. It's like an act of generosity, an act of grace, and sharing your brilliance with the world, not worrying about, you know, what's being said or what's being thought about you, you know, releasing the expectation. And when you do that, there's a poem by Mary Ann Williamson called Our Greatest Fear. And this poem talks about why we were brought here. We were brought here to really reflect the Creator. And as we really think about the Creator is magnificence. Really, the Creator is beyond our understanding. There are different ways that it's brought down so that we can understand it. But when we really think of the essence of the Creator, the one who created everything, it's beyond anything that we can perceive or understand. And it's seeing ourselves in that light, because we are a product of this being, of this source. And in many ways, we reflect our Creator. And it's understanding that, and it's being in that, and it's reflecting that. And when you do that, you give others permission to do that as well. When you do that, you give others permission to do that as well. And then we have our second or third group of oracle cards for what is calling to your attention. We have going against the grain, or against the grain, and we have restore and replenish, right? Very much in the same energy here. And so this is against the grain, right? And this is restore and replenish. And so this is a very interesting picture because in this picture we see birds. She's actually underwater, and we see birds underwater. And I feel like this points to the desires that we have that go against what would normally be expected. You know, the want for birds to be able to fly underwater. You know, the want for love to trump power, right? The want for humanity to connect and relate to each other as equals, and also to recognize the sacredness in each other and the world in general. You want to unleash like the beauty that hides even in the most ugliest of things, of scenes or sentiments. And you want to make possible like what other people says. You want to make it possible the things that others say can't be. This is talking to a radical dreamer, a sacred rebel. And what you bring into the world is a light that brings in a more positive future for the world. And it's heavy, right? It's heavy carrying this weight, carrying this desire, carrying this deep feeling that you don't really fit in with the rest of the world. You know, how you sense things can, you know, can be very different than how they actually are. But the way you see how they can be, right, that's the challenge. And it makes it even more challenging when you have small minds or fearful hearts, right, of those around you, that you try to pull into your vision. And it's not received the way that you perceive it. And this causes a level of frustration, you know, a little loneliness at times, possibly feeling a little thwarted, maybe. But I want you to know that the Creator, the universe, Source actually takes a delight in your way of thinking of things, your take on things, your quirkiness, right? The way that you dare to honor those things that make you different and to think the impossible as being possible. Creator loves that about you. And the Creator is calling you to understand and accept yourself and never compromise that about yourself. You must never ever lose that unusual way that you have about yourself and allow it to become dry and sensitive and appropriate or even conventional, not even to appease others around you. To do that would erase the essence that you carry. And so here you are being called to show that life is about so much more than just conventional success. I love this. I love this. Yeah, this is just for you. Because I feel like this is for someone who actually lives and breathes like in the depths of creative water. Like you live so deep that you hardly ever find anyone that can actually swim where you swim or exist in that space where you exist. Even though they do exist, I feel like they do exist and they may be coming towards you even as we speak. But up to this point, you may not have found anyone that can swim in the depth of creative waters where you swim. And now could be a time where you're being called to really admire that part of yourself and allow yourself to get lost in that flow, whatever that is. It could be music, it could be nature, it could even be your dreams and your imagination, or this fantasy like energy that you carry, but it's expressed through your art or your writings, your literature, or your meditative dance, or the way you sensually surrender, to whatever it is that you love. Right? We're talking about this picture here, and I being drawn to the sacred waters of the ocean, or even the river or a lake. It could even be in the bathtub that this sensuality, this creation is stimulated, and that you've cultivated around yourself, within yourself. And it's calling you to stay right there. You're right where you're supposed to be. If ever you have thought anything different, that you need to conform, you're being called to stay right there. It's being brought to your attention that this is the part of you that adds light to the world. And you have to go against the grain. You can't align yourself with what you see around you, because then you would lose the majority of yourself. Yeah. This is your way, and you're not like everyone else, right? You're not the follower, but you're more like the agitator. However, your agitation is not in a form of disrespectful chaos, but your agitation comes in the form where you are a loving catalyst. And by simply being yourself, you just constantly remind people that there's always another way. And so this is just a reminder. If you don't know, it's bringing this to your attention that you are meant to be exactly as you are. Don't change a thing. Keep going in the direction. Even if it's in the opposite direction that everyone else is going, you are on your right path. You're meant to be set apart. And I guess there's this term called the black sheep. You're meant to be that. Or the rainbow sheep, or even the wild wolf, or the lone wolf, right? Yeah, that's you, that daring butterfly calling to the caterpillars. That's you. And there is a price to pay for this. I don't mean to draw a beautiful, dreamy picture. There's always a price to pay for the gift of individuality. It's your responsibility to take care of it and to guard it so that it's not dulled down and conditioned and skewed into being something that you're not. You're right where you're supposed to be. I hear you. I hear that calling into you right now. And again, restore and replenish. It's more of that taking care of yourself energy here. As you can see, she's curled up here. And just really, this reminds me of the Four of Swords. It's being retracted from everything. But here I feel like this goes even deeper than like a physical rest. This is like restoration, replenishment, and revival. This is even down to a spiritual level. Everything from spirit through physical to through mental, right? It's like a revival of everything that you are in every aspect of that word. Yeah. So this is not really taking a day off or laying around the house, just not doing anything. This is not like a break in your routine. This is something that's much deeper than that. This is the need for some variety, for something different, something, a need to sprinkle a little spice or change something to bring in a fresh energy into your body and your mind and your heart. Like, this is the need to restore and really revive yourself by changing the flow of the energy through your being. This is like going to do something different, breaking your routine, right? Meeting different people or taking a different action. Where you're usually apt to say no, it's being open to explore what saying yes would be like. Even if you find out, well, that didn't turn out the way I hoped, but at least I gained the experience. It's breaking the energy of monotony and routine and what you would usually do. And of course, there could be a return to the regular routine in time, but it just feels good to you. And it's calling in right now a time to move differently. And this movement happens without making it happen, without pushing, right? Beyond, it's allowing it to happen with a sense of ease. Allow yourself to go beyond the known, beyond the comfortable and the familiar. Yeah. And so it's calling you to do something different, to kind of spruce up the energy and refresh yourself in that way. There needs to be something added, right? Something different. I feel like the energy of monotony here. And so I feel like there's going to be opportunities coming towards you that's going to give you this opportunity to choose something different, to take a different route, to add a little something extra in that you wouldn't normally do. Yeah. Sometimes, even with our accomplishments in life, we can get used to succeeding and accomplishing, and that kind of gets boring after a while, honestly. Even that gets boring after a while, and there's a need to add something else in that's not accomplishment based. It's doing something where you don't even expect a specific result. There's no expectations attached. Just doing it just to experience. That's the reward, the experience. Yeah. So this is for someone that's been working so hard and they're accomplished, but there's a need for something else yet here. There comes a time to put down, the paintbrush or the pen or the endless list of things that keep your mind going and keep your body moving. It's time to experience yourself in and of nature. Remember how it was to be that little child, just being, just doing, just to be doing, and enjoying it without expectation. For whoever this is for, you are in between. You're like in a transition phase between one level of experience and the next. Yeah. You could actually feel right now as though you're kind of treading on thin water, or you're kind of in some sort of purgatory. It's like an in between your old life and your new life. And there's the need to break into this level that you're reaching for. And this is the need to have faith. But during that process, there's a need to take a breather, right? Between races. This is that time to stop and just be, just breathe, just live, just drink fresh water. Revive yourself with just being. Yeah. And so this is going to help you along the way. This taking a detour away from the pursuit, right? It's rebalancing yourself is what it's doing. And you're completely supported in this need for new experiences. They're coming your way. You just have to be open to them, open to the discovery. This is part of it. I want to take a look at how this is coming through for you. So how is this coming through for my viewer? And we have love, the number 6, rebirth, the number 16, and personal growth. So what could be bringing in this energy that you are being called to right now is the possibility, the opportunity to see the world in a different way. And this could be love coming towards you, right? This could be your ability to engage that energy. This could be your need to reframe how you're seeing things, looking through a fresh pair of eyes, that this lens is going to be love focused, or the frequency of love. And it's understanding that that's really what really matters at the end of the day, is to be entangled with some sense of love, both for yourself and for others, and trying to see beyond the illusions, to see the beauty that's really there, that's possible, right? It's seeing things in a different light, in your own light, and aligning yourself with the source and the intention of your soul. And that may in fact very much be love stimulated, because again, you pull in what you are. And so that whatever it is that you're wanting to pull towards you and manifest, that's what you have to put out. That's the frequency that you need to be tuned to. And so this is very much the energy of love that's coming through here. Yeah, the energy of love. And so this could be definitely the important frequency to make sure that you are operating in. And if there are any limiting beliefs, the opportunities to come towards you may very much be dealing with this energy. Even if that's going in and reassessing or rearranging our thoughts around how we love, our need to love, or how we need to address and receive this energy. Yeah, this is almost like the energy of self-assessment, I feel like. So this is coming towards you. This could possibly come in the form of what is the word? In the form of opportunities, we'll say that, instead of using negative terms like we're going to say opportunities is what we're going to say. So there's opportunities that could be coming in that's going to cause you to assess yourself and see how you're relating through love, right? Instead of viewing it as a difficulty that you're experiencing, you can view it as an opportunity to kind of reassess and realign your beliefs, right? Are you truly open to give and receive love? Do you really believe that you're worthy of it? Do you believe that it exists for you? Right? Because love only operates from a sense of belief, right? And so it's positioning yourself in that frequency, in that energy. Opportunities are going to come forth to operate and to possibly give you an opportunity to realign yourself when it comes to love. This is how this is coming. It could be relationships, doesn't have to be, you know, romantic. This could be all forms of relationships, any type of connection that you have. Friendships, family, you know. And so this is how this is coming towards you, this energy that we're talking about here that's calling out to you. It's coming through the energy of love. How are you relating to the energy of love right now? How is that operating in your life? That may be something that's being brought to your attention through this process. And then we have rebirth. Right? Rebirth. And rebirth is a time of like transformation, of course. You know, it's the caterpillar, you know, going into the transformation and coming out as the butterfly. And I am still sensing, as I got with this card, there is a level of transition that is happening right now. And it's almost like this is a time of the void where you're in the chrysalis and that transformation is happening. You haven't quite became the butterfly, but you're no longer the caterpillar either. It's in that middle ground. It's in that void. Definitely the energy of transformation and significant personal growth. This is leading into the next card as well. I feel like there is existing in a period right now of spiritual awakening. And there's the opportunity to really align with your highest self and the overarching principles that guide you. And it's almost a sense of bringing you into the energy of self-governing, right? No longer are you looking to others, but this is energy that is being cultivated and awakened within yourself. The rebirth. This is where you actually surrender to the changes around you. And out of that, you continue with the energy and being the best that you can be, despite the changes that are happening around you and within you. It's still holding on to that intrinsic sense of self and your principles and your integrity. It's holding on to that through these changes. Yeah. And this could also be a time of coming towards you. This could be coming in the form of reevaluation. Again, it's almost like looking at your core values and looking back at your life and eliminating any shallow, superficial foundations that no longer align with your highest self, right? Because that's where we're moving. We're moving into our highest timeline, our highest self, which aligns with the deepest parts of our dreams. Rising above like that egotistical energy and that behavior. And it's really a sense of humility that's being brought in here, and authenticity. Those are going to be your keys to success. It's being really grounded in truth. And I guess this is a bit of the same energy, personal growth, right? And so this is coming to you in this form. It's coming through these energies. What we just talked about, what you are being called to, what's being called to your attention. Yeah. I feel like there's just a lot of energy around self-reflection and really solidifying who you truly are deep down at the core of your being, at the most basic level of your being. Like who you are, your desires from life, you know, the things that in the past may have prevented you from getting there. It's really observing and asking these things of yourself. It's like a deep seeking that's happening here. All right. And the tarot cards I got with our energy coming through is the Chariot, the Six of Wands, the Three of Swords, and of course, the Empress. And the Chariot, one second. And so I feel like, especially with the Chariot, this brings in a time of reckoning, right? The Chariot talks about action or a driving force, but it also brings the energy of karma, right? There's a sense of balance that's happening here, and that could be what's happening right now, how this is coming forward. It's that reckoning that's happening between the future and the past as you move forward, between your higher and your lower self, between your light and your dark. It's like a reckoning that's happening. And it's you coming to the agreement with yourself, right, as you move forward. And through this reckoning, there's a clearing of your path so that you can move forward, right? So you may find yourself actually having some things resurface, as I stated here with the rebirth. It's going back to take a look at past actions and reassessing what has happened, how we have dealt with those things. And it's almost like a clearing of the path so that you can come into this balance and move forward in the right attitude, all put together, you know. And so that's the energy that I'm feeling with the Chariot. And it's also this energy of self-confidence, especially right here between the Six of Wands and the Chariot. The Six of Wands brings a very high level of confidence and self-confidence and actually progress moving forward. It's almost like tapping into the flow, your dharmic flow, right? The natural flow of life as it was meant for you. And it's almost like effortless as well. Yeah, and so it's very timely energy, right? It's very timely energy. And there's this element of success in doing that. And so this is actually what is coming through right now as you are being called to attend to these things that we discussed. This is energy that's coming through, that's aligning you with the Three of Swords and the Empress. So the Three of Swords is also kind of, I feel like it's reflecting on things that have possibly brought in elements of disappointment or some kind of sorrow or pain that caused a mental anguish somewhere along the line. And then it's right next to the Empress. I almost feel like this was kind of like I feel like it was like a transmuting this energy, right? What would have destroyed some, like you have had the opportunity to turn it into something that was beneficial, not only for you, but for those around you. You transmuted it into something beneficial. If you have not reached this point, this is how this is coming in for you. It's helping you or wanting you. It's delivering you into the energy to transmute those things into success. And I keep saying Empress, but this is actually the Emperor. It's almost like the energy of pushing you to step into your power, putting that fire underneath you to get you up and going and moving. It's using pain as a motivator, right? So whether you've experienced this already, or you are experiencing it, or you will experience it, it's turning what could be unfortunate events into something that's working for you, something that's empowering you and motivating you and causing you to step up to the plate and show up and show out and understand who you are. I'm getting the picture right now of a mother who sees her child underneath a car. And in that moment of panic, she goes and she lifts the car up without even realizing her strength and gets the child from underneath the car, right? And it's looking back at that and it's like, wow, I had no idea. You know, had that incident never happened, right? Which is an unfortunate incident, but it was through that she was able to realize, or he was able to realize, the power that was held within, right? That's the energy I'm getting here. This is the energy that I feel being surrounded, and that you could be experiencing, or it's part of your experience, it's part of your story, right? As you are being called into this energy, this is how it's coming through for you. As much as I would like to say it's going to be all peaches and cream and all sweet and dreamy, there's some difficulties, some opportunities, right, to really explore who you are, your abilities. And it may be a little uncomfortable. So how is this process, this calling of your attention to these energies that you are being asked to step into and accept and cultivate, how are you reacting? How is this affecting you is what I want to find out. And I'm pulling from my Chakras Oracle deck. How is it affecting you, for my viewers that are tuning in and resonating with this? All right, so we have 41, the Great Central Sun, Unity. 42, Chakra Balance, Peace. And 40, Shiva, Transcendence. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're about 40 minutes in. And so the Great Sun, this is the energy of becoming aware of ideas, consciousness and existence beyond the known. So I feel like you are being tapped in. And if you're already tapped in, it's being tapped in even more deeply to what is beyond what you know for sure. It's being tapped in to the unknown. That's that energy. Open to discovery, right? It's being open to what is beyond what you've yet to experience or know. You know, it's looking at the sun as the sun is the ruling celestial body of all of the universes that exist in a parallel time and space. And just the idea of, you know, that, you know, the sun being the center of the universe, it lets us know that there's yet still so much more to be learned, you know, to be discovered beyond what we can see, beyond what we know to be true. There has to be. And this is the connection to our crown chakra, which is the seventh chakra. And this is like the gateway to what we believe and what we see as in our physical existence. But this is the gateway beyond that point. It's like a portal or a doorway. Through the crown, we actually can access unity consciousness, or what some people would consider star energies or cultural consciousness and unlimited thought. It's through the crown that we tap into this potential, this knowing, this connection. Yeah. And it's actually resonating at a different frequency when you tap into that energy. And it's called different things, right, to different people, right? But however you see that connection, I'm speaking about that. And so there's a tapping in that's happening here that's beyond us, that's beyond you. But it's something that's within each of us, as we are all connected to the same substances that the universe is made of. And so I feel like this is affecting you by tapping you in that way. Your consciousness is being open and connected to a powerfully unifying consciousness that flows through the great central sun, which is the center of our universe. That's what we all have in common, the sun. And so everything connected to the universes that consider the sun as the central point, there is a possible connection that can be made. And I feel like you're tapping into that through this. That's how it's affecting you. You may not even understand some of the things that are being made known or that are being opened up to you. And that's why there's the need to be open to discovery, because you are being tapped into that energy, to that consciousness. And it may, there may be a need to, even if you're a meditator, definitely do some crown chakra guided meditation. If you are a pro at that, there's no need for guided meditation. Just keep meditating, right? And the ability to reach beyond the known and open up to new thought will be cultivated and strengthened as you continue to do that. And it's going to raise your consciousness continuously. There's always more to be known. And this is really a time of great inspiration and spark and potential for new ideas and consciousness for you. This is like the revolution, the technology revolution. You remember how ideas were being sparked. Even the idea of the cell phone back in the 70s or 80s would be outlandish and out of this world and considered inconceivable, and may have even been considered to be impossible. But someone was tapping into that back in the 70s and 80s. It was way above our time. There could be ideas that are coming through like that to whoever is resonating with this as you tap in to this unity consciousness. I'm getting the sense that it's way beyond our time. Don't discount it, but be open to discovery. Don't resist it. Be open to it. Be curious about it. How this is affecting you, it's bringing in the connection to future possibilities. It's also bringing in this level of peace through energy, through breath, through balance. There's this great sense of peace that's coming in for you. And the chakras are important to the body because it holds many different levels and layers. Not only does it pertain to the physical body and how it connects through light, but there's also a connection to emotional, mental, and spiritual states. And it's unifying all of those levels in a way that's healing, right? And it causes the energy to flow freely through the body. There's a metaphysical existence that's very important to our wholeness and our vitality and our ability to really enjoy life, right? Our way of living. And it's connected to the energy, bringing all of these, connecting all of these energies in our body so that we can enjoy life the way it was meant. It's a gift, this sense of oneness and peace. So I feel like that's how you are being affected. It's bringing in this sense of peace, right? Yeah, it's some people are looking, they're like on a never-ending quest for peace, not realizing that it all is right here within you. Yeah. And I feel like this is what is being brought in for you. This is how you are pulling from this experience here. For you, it's been a very enjoyable one. The things that used to bother you and get you bent out of shape and have you upset to many are actually things that you've been able to break. There are also core issues that are arising that you're able to address as well. There's imbalancing that has been able to be addressed that's bringing you into a sense of balance in your body as well. I feel like there is a higher level of awareness that's come through for you. There's been a connection to your higher self, which you may not at one point have even understood or realized existed. And there's also an access to your inner wisdom, right? There is an acknowledging and a higher level of understanding that's unfolding for you through this access. And it's always been there. It's just being awakened. You're being awakened to it. It's almost like an inner sense of bliss. It's a space of peace. That's beautiful. And then with Shiva, So you could definitely be a meditator. I'm getting that energy really strong. A prayer, a meditator, someone who values silence and your personal space. With Shiva, it's the energy of transcendence, preparing to step into your seat of higher awareness and conscious action. Really, this is bringing you into a greater experience of existence. Right? All three of these are talking about an elevated level of consciousness and working through the energies and through the understanding and the possible connections available to come into the understanding of this and the experience of this and how to sustain this. And so if you are not someone who meditates or someone who actually is familiar with the teaching of like yoga or chakras, definitely check into that, because it's going to be helpful, especially through the processes here. Grounding is really important. The higher you reach, the more grounded you need to be. But Shiva brings in the ability to really sustain, but initially to find focus and clarity within the universal energies. And that's going to also be in the crown chakra. And this is kind of like dealing with the energy that moves through the body, and the mastery of ego, and releasing of energy. You see her third eye glowing. We have the moon that sits in her hair. It's representing the mastery over time. And then the third eye is the eye of seeing, being able to really see, so that you can be aware, so that you can thwart off those things that would come in to try to destroy. Yeah. So this is like the gift of transcendence that's happening here. And this is to bring the awareness, and the blessing of what already exists. It's already been manifested. It's just bringing your awareness to it. But there's the need to transcend, right? From this idea of the physical, right? It's being able to transcend into the spiritual and transcend those boundaries of the linear time into eternity. And it's the ability to really hold a higher vision for what's being manifested in life. First, it's becoming aware of where your consciousness resides. And it's understanding that you can't really manifest from a lack mentality, from fear-based thoughts, or from doubt, from shame, or lower conscious thinking. It's the need to lift, right, your consciousness. Once you rise above that, then you begin to imagine and picture in the form of visualization what you truly desire. And it's easier to bring it into being when you're able to move past those very linear ideas that can sometimes keep us stuck. And so it's transcending over the experience or the very low energy based thoughts into where it is that we are being brought, so that we can operate from that way, from that energy, from that space. All right. And so, with all of this coming to light, what are you being asked to do? Or before we go there, I did pull a few tarot cards for how this energy is affecting you. Let's look at that first before we go to our last question. So, how are you being affected? So, we have the World card, we have the Page of Voices, the Seven of Materials, and the Queen of Materials. How are you being affected? So, first of all, with the World card and the Page of Voices, the Seven of Materials, and the Queen of Materials, I definitely feel like there's a ending to the way that things were. There's definitely a completion being ushered in the way that you see things, the way that you've operated up until this point. I think there's a graduation that's happening. Definitely lots of, as you're coming into this awareness, there's lots of cycles that are being ended right on the spot. It's almost like becoming aware of the fact that you've been eating something that's slowly poisoning and killing your body. And the moment you become aware of it, it's like, okay, I'm done. That no longer gets a piece of my attention, right? It's like a tying up of loose ends. And it's the energy of ascension that's happening here, right? Vibrational attainment is also the energy I'm getting, especially in light of these three chakra cards. There's like a vibrational shift, right, that's happening throughout your body, all around you, right? And it's affecting how you see the world and how you relate in the world as well. Things that once had your attention no longer really entertains. And there also is a sense of opening. I feel like there is an element of curiosity. And I can't help but look at the glasses. There's an energy of intelligence here, right? There's like that nerdy kind of energy. There's an element of intelligence, curiosity, almost like a restless energy or a thirst for knowledge. You could be really pulling information towards you or accepting the information that's being revealed to you. I feel like it's a high level of learning that's taking place, a high level of thinking, right? And not only thinking and pulling in energy, but there's like a aligning with that energy as well. Yeah. And with the Seven of Materials, definitely the energy of kind of the ability to really look and assess. This is like assessment energy. And the understanding or the recognition of a need for perseverance. It's almost like looking at it from a long-term perspective. So there could have been like a change of perspective here. Whereas you used to think of it in one way. Like maybe you used to think of things in short-term perspective. What would be fruitful right now, right? There's a more long-term perspective that you've shifted to. I can't help but see this long line of roses. And this goes all the way down to where you can't even see it no more. So there's like the long game investment here. And the ability to really start pouring into your future. There's like a manifestation for the future. A diligence. There's like a sacred plateau that's happening here. There's a recognition of what that is, of what that's for. Just a change in perspective, mostly is what I'm feeling. Also, I feel like there has been a great level of nurturing through this process that you have felt. I definitely feel like this is the energy surrounding you, the energy towards you. There's a great level of gain as well as it pertains to abundance. And remember, abundance is not always just financial, but this is your mental, your intellectual properties, right? Your intellectual abundance. This is your health, your wealth, your spiritual worth, right? There is a net worth that's gone up when it pertains to you. It's prosperity in every way. And there's a gain in your understanding of your relation to the universe and to your provider, to God, to your creator, whatever that looks like for you, whatever your source looks like for you. There is a level of understanding that has increased that relationship. So your trust has grown, right? And there is a release. I feel like that transition from lack mentality has dissipated, and there's a greater understanding of what abundance means. There's a greater connection to the energy of the earth, even the grounding that's happened and the stability that you're experiencing, your responsibilities to that, and what comfort really means. And I feel like it's like riding down a highway of fruition that's happened as a result of, these energies coming in. So major transformation for you. And what are you being asked to do? We have good juju and rage. Interesting. Two interesting cards. An interesting pair. With good juju, basically that means there's like when you say juju, first of all, I feel like that's definitely in relation to your connection to abundance. This is like your connection and your level of support from the universe, from God, from Creator Spirit, from Source. I feel like you have great luck on your side, and you're being asked to understand your position. You're being asked to understand that that time is now. You've been granted a great inheritance, and you are being asked to embrace this divine abundance, that you have good juju. You have good juju. This is a time of increase for you. right? You've been given a great level of divine prosperity, and it's part of your rich inheritance. And what you're being asked to do is accept your ancestral inheritance. For who I'm talking to, this is not something that you've cultivated alone. This has partly been handed down to you. This good juju is abundance. It's luck that's being, poured on you by the universe, supported and uplifted. Wealth is being created for you on your behalf. You're being asked to understand that. Okay. I also feel like with rage here, you are being asked to understand that if there are any things that are yet to be made right in the physical realm, in the spiritual realm, you are being guided to not only acknowledge that part of yourself, don't close yourself off. There is a sense of justified anger that is right, that is just. And it's asking you to really be honest with yourself, to put those things on the table and allow yourself to express that. Allow yourself to express your anger. There's a healthy way to do that. It's like you don't always have to see the rosy, pretty picture of things that are not right, right? But it's there's a way to acknowledge that hurt and that brokenheartedness, or even feeling undervalued. It's not muzzling yourself, but through that you can actually, right, with this energy of going against the grain, you can allow your joy and your hope of seeing things differently and pushing for that, and the beauty that you see, you can allow that to rage on in a certain way. And it's acknowledging those parts of yourself that feel that disappointment or that hurt or that pain. And it's acknowledging that in your body. And it's tuning into that where you feel out of control in a way that's going to allow you to take back control, right? It's acknowledging where you feel that and flooding that part of you with love and healing golden light, not just pushing it under a rug and denying that it exists, but it's acknowledging that. And it's agreeing with that. You have every right to be upset, but this is what we're going to do with that sense of rage. We're going to turn that, right? We're going to feel it, and we're going to turn that into power. Sacred rage inspires us to run for office, to lead protests, and to shift policies. It leads us to go against the grain. But unhealthy rage actually can devour our very souls, right? And it has the potential to do that when it's left unaddressed or unacknowledged. That's why we want to acknowledge that and then transmute that into power. So it's getting clear on what's really happening. It's being honest with yourself and being open and willing to allow yourself to feel it, the truth of what it is, and acknowledging that, right? And turning that, using that as motivation for something greater, right? Let's get some tarot cards. I got quite a few for this one. So we have the King of Wands, the Prince of Wands, in reverse, the Lovers, the High Priestess, and the Princess of Pentacles. And this is what you are being asked to do. What you are being asked to do. So the King of Wands, definitely fiery energy. The King of Wands is like, he's considered the master of spiritual growth and creation. So the King of Wands is very fiery energy, and that energy possesses enormous spiritual strength as it moves and blends in with, you know, cosmic flow. This is the energy of a visionary, looking out for ways to go out and conquer, right? He brings the energy of light that actually burns away challenges, not really scared of anything or any type of challenge. He's always open and ready to go out and conquer. Definitely carry strong energy. So you're being guided to move forward in strength, knowing your power, knowing your abilities, the strong creative ability supported with spirituality, passion, courage, creativity, inspiration. It's almost difficult to contain it. That's how much energy and power that the King of Wands has. But there is a masterful energy around his ability to hold that fury, raw life force, right? And channel it through the energy for balancing, right? And so it's almost uncontainable, but there is a level and a power that's held within the King of Wands where he's able to balance that energy and channel it, right? That is very beautiful. And this is the energy you are being guided into. That's what you're being asked to do. Recognize your power. Recognize your brilliant genius, the enlightenment and the visions that you've been given. Don't discount them, but write them down, remember them, work them out. The King of Wands exemplifies like the highest expression of creative imagination in action, though. It doesn't just stop at the imagination, but it's carried out into action. He also exemplifies higher levels of spiritual growth as well, right? And so you're being guided forward in this energy. It's multifaceted. And the Prince of Wands, which is in reverse. Very interesting. So the Prince of Wands carries this very, it's almost like the energy of someone holding a magic wand and just kind of painting everything, right? But it can be, the page possesses a very immature energy. I feel like you are being guided to make sure that you continue growing and continue reach for the highest expression of your existence, not just staying at a beginning level. You are intended to graduate to the highest level of understanding, of spirituality, of expression and creativity and power. It's not just staying at this level, but it's continuously moving forward to graduation, to the point where you get to get out there and actually do what it is that you're learning. Yeah. Let's see. Why is it in reverse? I feel like, yeah, that's what it is. You're not meant to stay at a beginner's level. You're meant to carry it through to completion. And whatever would come to try to challenge you, you are meant to overcome those challenges to get to the King of Wands, not just stay at a page level. Not just stay at a page level. And so there are going to be times where you have to push yourself, right? With the Lovers, this is bringing in the energy of healthy union. There could be a divine partnership coming towards you, or that you are being guided to be open to. If you're already in a partnership, a union, this could be energy of coming to union within yourself, knowing every aspect, every part of yourself, and aligning all of it together so that you can reach the highest timeline, so that you can be aligned with your highest self. But if you're not currently in a union, this is love coming towards you. I know we got that love card here. There could be divine relationships coming in to complement this energy that you are being guided to be open to. And a divine union is one that's not just there for convenience, but it's a union that operates at the highest level of function in alignment with your highest self, with your calling. So it's not just any old connection that you met, around the way. No, this is divine appointment. This is something that has been arranged in the heavens. It's divine appointment. Okay. With the High Priestess, right? I feel like this is just a reminder, or the energy of continuing to trust yourself, continuing to deepen your connection with yourself and with Source, continuing to operate in the element of your spirituality, of your spiritual gifts, of your spiritual offering. This is the energy of operating as a channel, operating from a platform between heaven and earth, as a channel of communication. There's definitely a definite deeper level of knowing, a deeper connection, knowing hidden things. This is definitely a deep level of operating within the spiritual realm. If you're not doing that, you're being guided in this direction to be open to discover what that means for you. What that means for you. And that's definitely going to look different for everyone listening, but you have to use your discernment. What does that mean for you? But for whoever this is, you're definitely connected on a deep level. Definitely could even be a channel. I'm hearing that as well. And then lastly, we have the Princess of Pentacles, which brings in the energy of blessing for life in general. There's a deep sense of gratitude and connection to everything living. everything in creation. It carries the energy of healing and creativity. As you look at this picture, everything is reverencing her, and she's reverencing everything connected. It's the understanding that everything is connected, and everything involves a level or requires a level of respect and admonishing in that way. It's opening up to a greater level of connection with everything involved and becoming awakened to that fact that there is a soul consciousness that is in operation. May in fact be connected to messaging and visions or dreams. There's a thriving in that divine source continuously that inspires and nurtures the physical being. There's definitely an energy of creative magic. And so it's tapping in to those recesses and those resources. And it's a continuous growing in that way. I can't help but see the light in her belly. She's pregnant, right? Constantly bringing forth. Constantly bringing forth. This is beautiful. So this is what you are being asked to do. It's just basically position yourself, stay connected, stay open to continuously grow, to continuously hear and connect, and be available to be used as a vessel. And to grow in consciousness and awareness and how you're connected. And so this is what you are being asked to do. Basically, do what you've been created to do, which is all of this. I pulled 2 last oracle cards. We're doing good on time. I have your path and letting go. There's definitely a plan beyond what you can see, right? Whether there's a fear of the unknown or not, right? There could be, doesn't mean it has to be. Understanding there's a need to look beyond that. There's a plan beyond that, a path for you. Specifically, it's personal. That plan involves detachment, ability to detach and let go. Understand that really nothing is in your control, right? Control is really just an illusion. And it's understanding that there is a source that actually holds everything in place. In the same way that we wake up every morning and see the sun, and every night we get to see the moon. There's a source that's holding those 2 aspects of nature in place. And it works like clockwork, right? That same source has every element of your life under control as well. It's understanding that, and that you can safely start enjoying life with the understanding of that. Everything has been planned out. Your path has been planned out for you. All you have to do is walk it, live it, be open to explore and enjoy it. That's what you're being called to do. You can let go safely and enjoy life and trust that everything is working out perfectly for you. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you allowing me to speak into your life. I don't take it lightly. This has been the message number 2 for what is calling for your attention. From Letty Speaks, also known as Sunfire 369. If you've enjoyed this message, please hit the like button. I would appreciate that so much. If you want to share how it resonated, I would love to hear how this resonates with you. If you are not a subscriber, please hit the subscriber button. All of those things helps the channel to grow, and I am so appreciative of you just even being here. I also appreciate you engaging, right? If you're liking it and you find yourself coming back, engage. I would love that. And so if you would like to go a little further, if you feel led to contribute, to donate, I'm open to that. Don't have to, but I'm open to that. I would be very appreciative of that. There's a couple of links below on how you can do that. If you feel led to reach out and schedule a personal one-on-one session, that would tickle my fancy as well. So my calendar is below, and my available time slots for the next, the rest of November and into December, what's left. You'll be able to tap in and see what that is if you're interested. Other than that, thank you for stopping by. It has been a pleasure. I enjoy this so very much. And as I stated, I don't take it lightly. I may enjoy it more than you do. I don't know. But anywho, that has been reading number 2. Until next time, stay safe out there and be open to discovery. All right, bye.